Hello, and thank you for joining us today. On behalf of the Bitwise and Talend teams, I'd like to welcome you to our webinar, Migrating Legacy ETL to Talend Has Never Been Easier. Whether you are currently using Talend or are considering the tool for your data integration needs, we aim to show you how to derive the most value from your ETL conversion efforts. My name is Nathan Nichols, and joining me today are Tom DeVue, Enterprise Account Executive at Talend, and Shahab Kamal, EVP of Customer Success and Solution Engineering here at Bitwise. Before I pass things over to Tom and Shahab, who will be talking about the strategic importance of data integration and the value that Talend provides, followed by discussion and demo on an automated approach to converting any ETL to Talend, let me first provide a quick introduction to Bitwise. Bitwise, a data management company, uses over 20 years of enterprise data management experience to help bridge gaps between traditional EDW and cutting-edge technologies, including big data tools. We help organizations meet their enterprise reporting, analytics, and visualization requirements by providing complete end-to-end services for EDW and BI, big data and cloud, digital applications, and QA testing. What truly sets Bitwise apart is not just our 20 years of experience helping leading Fortune 1000 companies solve their most pressing data challenges, but our technology leadership in developing unique tools and methodologies that accelerate complex processes. We build strong partnerships with our customers by providing technology solutions, data and digital expertise, and customer-centric global delivery capabilities. Just as a reminder, we will open things up for an interactive Q&A at the end of the session. Feel free to send all your questions via the question feature throughout the webinar. We will do our best to answer all questions, but as always, you can contact us at any time at sales@bitwiseglobal.com. And with that, I'd like to pass things over to Tom. Tom?
Thanks, Nathan. With the rapid increase in the volume, complexity, and sources of data, data integration is becoming more important than ever. When you look at what's needed in a data integration platform, the requirements have changed dramatically. 15 years ago, the most important choice you had to make in building a data platform was choosing your data warehouse. Once you picked Oracle or Teradata, your platform wouldn't change for 10 years or so. So it didn't really matter how you got the data into your data warehouse. Any ETL tool or hand coding was okay. But in today's world, where you have so many more data sources and so many more processing technologies, having an integration solution that allows you to plug and play these technologies is critical. And data integration itself is being reinvented. There's real-time, self-service, machine learning, data governance. These are all becoming mandatory components of your integration environment. And it doesn't stop there. Because you might be deploying this on-premise today, but you're going to need the agility to move all of this seamlessly to the cloud and between clouds. You might start off needing the processing power of Redshift and then want to move for the machine learning capabilities of Google, and later need the hybrid capabilities of Azure. In this world, integration is no longer a tactical choice you make after the fact. In this world, it is essential infrastructure because it's what gives agility. Agility is how you survive in today's world of increasing expectations, innovation, and increasing competition. And the only solution that can give you this agility is a Talend Data Fabric. And the Talend Data Fabric delivers data agility in 3 ways. First, we offer the unified platform. With one platform, you can do batch, real-time, big data, cloud, and on-premise integrations with built-in data quality, machine learning, data preparation, and data governance. This gives you a lot of agility and dramatically lowers the cost of ownership because you can move between styles of integration without having to install or learn new integration technologies. And we generate optimized native code for whatever deployment you choose. There's nothing proprietary to install or manage on the cluster. You can see the code and you can debug more easily. You can design your integration flows once and then quickly redeploy them on other technology platforms as your needs change. And finally, our DNA is open source, which means we give you access to the latest innovations faster than anyone else in the market, with built-in flexibility and no vendor lock-in. We work very closely with the Apache community, which allows us to be the first to support new technologies like Spark. Talend's open architecture makes it easier to work with many other technologies. And you benefit from the experience of thousands of active developers in the thriving Talend online community. You can learn for yourself and the Talend tool and learn how to enhance it and build your own custom components. The Talend Data Fabric. Next slide, please. The Talend Data Fabric combines all of Talend's products into a common set of powerful, easy-to-use tools for real-time or batch data or application integration, big data or master data management, on-premise or in the cloud. This helps companies increase data agility and speed time to market and meet the latest data challenges with a solution that's 5 times faster and 1/5 the price of legacy integration solutions. And the analysts agree. For the 2nd year running, we're recognized as leaders in Gartner's Magic Quadrant. We're also recognized by Forrester as a leader in the Big Data Fabric wave. These are just a few of the reasons companies are migrating to Talend from their legacy integration technologies. Now, let me turn it over to Shahab of Bitwise to share with you how easy it is to migrate your legacy jobs, your legacy integration jobs, to Talend. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom, and good morning or good afternoon, whatever time zone you are located in. So I'm going to talk about the migration from any ETL product and also some other 3GL features to Talend. So the first question is why migrate? And I believe this is very well covered by Tom already. Technology is changing. The entire architecture is changing. The landscape is changing. And as the entire landscape changes, there are new products, new features that you need to take advantage of. Talend offers all of these in the data fabric. So the reason to migrate is actually take advantage of and actually move to this new architecture that is emerging. So that's the reason why most companies are looking to currently migrate to Talend, and we are looking to enable you to move your existing code into Talend. So to do that, what are the common challenges? Well, it's good to take and adapt to a new product, but there is so much legacy code that has been written on the legacy software that is being used inside an organization. How do you move all of that? So it's very resource intensive. It is very time intensive to do that if you're going to rewrite all of that code, because there are situations where there is no documentation for the code that is being moved, or there is not good enough documentation. It's also resource intensive because what was written over a course of, say, 10 years, if that's how long you've had your legacy ETL product, you can't be writing all of that in a much more truncated timeline. I mean, writing all of that in a 1 year's time would really be a very difficult process. It's also prone to error because as you're rewriting all this code, it's really going from one ETL product to another, which has different features, into and you're fitting it into a different kind of a data architecture. So there is also a possibility of not doing things right, as you re-architect these ETL flows. So how do we do this? I mean, is rewriting everything really the best option? Sometimes it might be, sometimes it might not. For the most part, it's best to take what's existing and move it to Talend. And that's where the ETL conversion automation comes into the picture. Because it won't just save you time, but it also takes you across the problem where there could be some code in the legacy system, in the legacy ETL product that was written, say, 10 years ago. There isn't good enough documentation around that, and rewriting all of that could be pretty tedious. What we do in our ETL conversion methodology is we take all this code, and with automation, we convert that to Talend, and we give you equivalent Talend code. How do we do that? So we have developed this hub and spoke architecture, and we've been doing this for almost now 8 years running now. So how did we come about doing this? What we do is we've written a lot of parsers, which we call as the adopters to various legacy ETL products that are out in the market today. What these do is they read your ETL code, which for the most part is in XML format, or in some of the products that are specific formats like K shells. We read all of these ETLs, and we extract the metadata for the ETL flow in those legacy products. We have also built what we call as the hub of our architecture. We bring all that ETL flow, which is actual flow of data information, how the ETL is supposed to process the data, into this hub. Inside the hub, we have mappings built for the equivalent component and equivalent features from this legacy product to Talend. What's important here is, over the course of time, this has become more intelligent. So when we read a particular ETL from a source ETL product, and a particular component from there could be best, from an efficiency perspective, migrated to a couple of different Talend components. All the efficiencies and all the best practices have been put into these mapping tables into the core of a product. So we don't just take an ETL from a source product and simply migrate the metadata to the target into Talend. There is some intelligence in between in this core where the migration and the translation goes through some rigorous processing where we follow the best practices and the best workarounds, because you could come across many situations, and there's not enough time to talk about all of them today, but there could be situations where a particular component or a particular function in a source ETL product might not even exist in Talend, because Talend does things differently. Well, what's the workaround? That workaround is already built into this core. So when it finds the situation in the source ETL product, it automatically plugs in that workaround which would work best in Talend and give you the best performance. So these things are in this core. And the final step is the target plugin, which will read this code from the database in the core and create an XML, which would be the ETL representation inside Talend, and then import that into Talend. So we are going from a source ETL, and taking it through this whole process where it is, optimized, the best possible fits found for Talend, and then we move this into Talend. And finally, that XML that's generated from the generation plugin is imported into Talend, and you have the ETL sitting in Talend. Very shortly, we'll see this actually in action. What's our conversion approach? So we just don't come in and say, okay, give us all your ETL, and you're going to put it through this magic box, and you get Talend code on the other side. Our approach is we start with a feasibility study, because even though multiple organizations might have the same legacy ETL product, but everyone has used it in a different way. There are some places we come across, a lot of complexity has been built into the product, into the ETL flows that were generated, and how to best tackle them in Talend. So we do a feasibility study, and we have our own parsers which can parse through your legacy ETL code and unearth these issues that could crop up at actual conversion time. We create some reports which upfront give you a complete big picture of what's going to happen when you actually start conversion, what kind of roadblocks, what kind of issues that will be faced, and we give you a good enough idea of how these will be tackled when you do the conversion. So in this feasibility stage, we actually give you a complete roadmap which includes what kind of code do you have, how does it best fit into Talend, and how will we go about converting it. So it gives you a clear picture up front of what you are looking at when you convert your existing ETL into Talend. And then we do a small POC. So we prove the concept that this is what we have unearthed in the way the code was written in your organization, and this is how it's going to be converted into Talend. We'll take a 50 to 100, a small subset of the jobs. Depending on an organization, 50 could be a large subset for some organizations, 50 could be nothing for others who have like tens of thousands of ETLs. But we take a small subset which best represents the way the legacy ETL product was used in an organization, and we convert those, and we convert them with automation. We also, during that conversion of the POC, demonstrate the kind of cost savings that will be accrued because of the automation we bring to the table. And that gives the complete clear picture to the organization that if we go with this 50 ETLs, here's what we get as far as cost savings and effort saving is concerned against manual. So we can extrapolate that to the 5,000 ETLs we have in the organization, and this is how the entire project will flow. So it gives you complete clarity up front of what kind of ETLs do you have, what features were most used, how they best fit into Talend, what's the advantage of using the automation, and how will these things work in Talend. So all that clarity is given up front, and then we move into the actual conversion phase where we, in the roadmap that is created in the feasibility study, gives you phased approach or a Big Bang approach based on how you would like to flow, and based on that we do the conversion. So with that, we actually move into a very quick demo of how this conversion works. So we have DataStage ETL on the screen up here, and what we are seeing here is, how this will actually be converted into Talend. So we are just expanding some of the features inside the ETL over here, just to show you that it's not, when we are looking at some of the code and some of the SQL statements that are inside these functions and components in DataStage. So it's not just the XML tag for a particular feature that will be brought in. What we are seeing here in the source ETL with the code behind these components, the reason we are showing them right now is because when we actually convert that to Talend, all of that will also be automatically brought into Talend. And here we look at the conversion module. So what it's doing is it's pointing the source ETL to the DataStage sandbox, which is where the XML for DataStage ETL is stored. And now it's pointing the target to the Talend sandbox. These are the two ETLs which were in the sandbox for DataStage. We click convert, and all that process are described in the background for parsing and the mapping in the database. That pretty much takes more than like 5 seconds. But what's important here is it gives you, because of all the intelligence in that core of the product I talked to you about earlier, it looks at everything and finds the best fit inside Talend for what was in your source DataStage ETL product, and maps that into Talend, and what you have is an XML, which is a Talend representation of the ETL, and there you go, it was imported into Talend. So it's that fast. Now, I would like to caution you that this is, for this demo, we have shown you a complete conversion. There will be scenarios, and we come across that every single customer. There will be certain scenarios where a direct conversion with automation is not possible. So we only claim between 70 to 80% of automation. We do not claim that everything will be a magic box which will give you 100% Talend ETL. There will be scenarios where you'll get some situations where, let's say, some Java code was in the source side and you have to convert that to the Talend side of it. There could be some issues over there. So we need to be cognizant of the fact that the conversion automation would be about 70 to 80%, and about 20% of manual tweaking of the ETL will always be there. But that's still a pretty significant amount of effort saved as opposed to doing it all manually. As I was speaking, you also saw that the code that was shown in the DataStage has actually come into Talend. So it's not just the component tags that were brought in. Everything, the features, the metadata, the code, the ETL, the SQL, everything is brought together. So the entire ETL flow now resides into Talend. Well, we talked about converting any ETL to Talend. We just showed you DataStage, but it can be really any ETL product. But what about most organizations, in addition to an ETL, are also dealing with a lot of stored procedures, which is pushing the compute on the database level. When you move to Talend, you have this opportunity at that time to do away with those stored procedures and push all that processing into Talend. So we have also built a capability where we can read PL/SQL stored packages, as well as T-SQL if you are a SQL Server shop, PL/SQL if you're an Oracle shop. We can read these stored packages. What we do is we've written some parsers which map these PL/SQL packages into a workflow document, which gives you the actual flow of the PL/SQL or the T-SQL package, and that is automatically saved into an Excel mapping document, like you would be creating when you write an ETL. A business analyst creates a mapping document. It creates a mapping document out of a PL/SQL or a T-SQL stored procedure, and we feed that to our adoption stage to Talend, and it gives you an equivalent ETL in Talend for that particular PL/SQL. We have a demo coming up for the PL/SQL conversion on August 30th. If you're interested in this capability, please be sure to sign up for that presentation, and we will be walking you through PL/SQL conversion to Talend in that demo. Great. With that, I'll hand it back to Nathan to take us through the Q&A and the conclusion of the session.
Excellent. Thank you, Shahab. And thanks, Tom, and everyone else for joining today. We've got some good questions coming in here. But first, just a quick reminder, you can contact us at sales@bitwiseglobal.com if we don't get to your questions. And as always, you can stay up to date on our latest information, including the upcoming PL/SQL conversion Talend webinar on August 30th that Shahab just mentioned at bitwiseglobal.com.